Slovenia. They're going to be performing in the first half of the first semi-final. Now, Slovenia, let's be honest, it's a mixed bag for them. They've only qualified for the final 5 times since the semi-finals were introduced in 2004. Their best placing, in actual fact, was before the semi-finals were introduced, both in 1995 and 2001, where they came 7th. Most notably, 2001 was Nestor with Energy. Now, last year, they failed to qualify out of that semi-final with Hvala Ni. And this year, they have got what I think is quite a varied selection. And we'll go across to Tristan first of all for this. Are there any songs there that you think are going to make it their 6th qualification to the grand final?
Yeah, there is definitely one song there that I think will win, and that's Ula Ložar. She represented Slovenia. She's only 17 years old. She represented Slovenia in the Junior Eurovision in 2014. And that song it's got a sort of like a real fun electro swing feel to it. It's much more on point than Estonia's The Swingers or anything like that. It's sort of much fresher, and I think it'll be a shoo-in for the final because it's also written by Marija, who obviously represented Slovenia as well, and it will definitely because I think the way the Slovenia are doing it this year, they're not doing a big televote and jury final like they did last year, where all the people could vote for everything. They're having all 10 songs, and then a jury will choose 2 songs to go through to a final that there'll be a televote on, which means that one of them is probably going to be Raiven, and I'm sure you guys will be talking about Raiven. I do like Raiven. It'll be my other favourite as well, but I think it's a given that she's going to get through because she was the head of the jury last year. She came 3rd the year before. She came 2nd the year before that. So this year, and she actually presented the national final last year, co-presented it. So this year, it's going to be, I imagine, they'll put her through because she's so well connected, and it's a really fun song.
That could be something to look out for then.
Yeah.
Not just the fact that she's there with the song, but also that if she doesn't get through to that jury final, that's going to be a big upset. In Slovenia as well on Saturday.
So I think it'll be a 2-horse race between Ula Ložar and Raiven, and the people will go for Ula Ložar because they don't really like Raiven that much. She only came 3rd. When I say only came 3rd, when last year she came, the year before last, which she came. I think the BQL got 5 times more televotes than she did.
Okay, so
I don't think the public don't really like her as much as the
juries do.
The juries will. So okay. I think, and it's going to be only that final 2 will be just up to them.
Let's drag Jörna into this. Jörna, obviously Tristan's selected Ula and Raiven as the potentials there for that 2-song runoff. Are there any other songs there that you're thinking, in actual fact, no, these are the songs that I think are going to do better?
I agree with Ula. I also like her song. I think it's fresh, modern. I think a lot of young people are going to vote for it because it appeals to them. But my favorite is actually Kim with Rhythm Back. I really like that one. It has like this kind of American vibe to it. I think, that's a contender for the final or the super final as well. Maybe I think Kim and Ula are my top 2 favorites for the Slovenian selection.
And I have to say, Jörna, you are totally bang on with me there. I've got Kim Rhythm Back to you down there as my number 1 for that Slovenian final. Now, obviously, we know Stuart is always on the lookout for those things that are just a little bit different. He's looking for the entries where there will be fire. So, Stuart, what are we thinking?
Well, Tom, I nearly jumped out of my seat when I saw that Jimmy Johnson from last week's show, Melodifestivalen, has made his way into Slovenia this year. That guy not only has moved from desk to desk in the Melodifestivalen stadium, he's found his way into Slovenia as well. What is going on there? So, yeah, I mean, that's for me, that was a big surprise. I really liked Kim and the song Rhythm Back to You until I realised it was quite ultimately a Melodifestivalen reject. One of the songs that didn't
wrong
make
with
it.
Melodifestivalen rejects.
I disagree. I think there is. I think there's too many of them, and you get that Swedish sound coming through loud and clear. We all love it, of course. We all love a Swedish sound, but it does detract from the sort of the national sort of style that you get from some of these countries, and I sort of feel that there. It sticks out like a sore thumb, and it strikes me as a song that could potentially win in Slovenia. And I think that would be a real shame. Not that it's a bad song, just it's not Slovenian. And that's what I want to hear in Eurovision. I want to hear Slovenian. Loved Lea Sirk last year. And, you know, that was what I want to see again from Slovenia. What else do I like? I was
going to say, what else are you going to... So if you want to see something that is Slovenian, what is ticking all the boxes for you?
Well, I was going to say Ula, but that song's written by Marlia, but also an American Charlie Mason. I think probably the one that's going to win is going to be Raiven. I'm not personally a big fan of it with the song Chaos, but she's taken part in EMA a couple of years of the last few. She's got close a couple of times. The song's a bit trippy. Yeah, I'm not sure who was smoking what when they wrote that song, but never touched the stuff. But my God, that someone was on something when they wrote that. However, it sounds a bit like Enya on speed, in my opinion. But I quite like it. 6.5, 7 out of 10. It will do so-so in Eurovision. If you look at the trend in EMA with Slovenia, if you take Lea Sirk as an example, she took part many years and finally she got it. This is Raiven's year.
Interesting. Joe, need to bring you in. Are we going to see Slovenia in the grand final? If so, what song is it going to be?
That's a really good question. I do like Ula, I have to say. And also Kim, so I'm in agreement with both with all of you really. However, I do think I think probably the only one that's going to qualify would probably be Raiven, if I'm honest. So I think if if I'm sitting here as a Slovenian, for example, say what's going to get through and be different, it would be her, because Lea was different in the gimme that she pulled on where she sort of stopped everything and pretended it all broke down. That worked for her in the semi-final. She got through, and I just think that it's probably going to be Raiven. I hope it's not, if I'm honest.
So what would you go for?
I would probably go for Ula.
Something else. Ula?
Yeah, I'd go for Ula. I do like that. There's a nice bit of jazzy in there. Bit of jazz. It's quite nice. Yeah, that one for me.
There are a couple of songs there that I'd actually like to pick the panel up on, because there's two songs that I've put stars by in the Slovenian final that I haven't actually heard any of you mention this evening. So I'm going to go back across to Stuart, because I think this is a fantastic name for a group, by the way. Lumberjack and Le Pod DNA.
Yes, love it, Tom. Love it. What a great song. And if you translate Leps to DNA, it actually translates as, and I kid you not, the beauty of the bottom.
Oh, see?
That's its literal translation, certainly according to Wiki. And let's face it, you can go and edit anything in Wikipedia these days. But yeah, the beauty of the bottom. Hard rock, 5-piece band, what's not to love?
Exactly. Fantastic. And Tristan, just getting your opinion on Rane and Nipov. I probably haven't even pronounced that right.
It was my least favourite. I absolutely couldn't stand it at all. It was. I haven't really got anything to say about it. One thing I did actually forget to mention, though, Stuart mentioned there was an American co-writer for Ula's song. That guy, Charlie Mason, actually wrote "Rise Like a Phoenix." So that could just be another thing that might just push it through to the final.
Could be very interesting. Yerna, Renee, does that song do anything for you? It's fine. I'm getting here.
It's kind of mid-table for me. I just put it behind Raiven. Raiven is my 4th place, and Renee is my 5th place. Obviously, it's okay, but it's nothing special for me. If I have to choose another song for my top 3, it'll be Sebi by Zala Kralj and Gašper Šantl. I also like that one.
Which is that is a good choice as well. That is a really that was 4th for me.
Yeah.
Now
it's trip hop. It's nice.
Stuart is anxious to dive in there.
Well, there's just one other song, and then we're going to quickly go to the chat room, Tom. The song by Fed Horses with the song Tini Poznaz Konyev, which translates as "You don't know the horses." So Fed Horses sings "You don't know the horses." What a weird mix. Going to the chat room, Elliot's put that Charlie Mason also wrote the song "Warrior" and "Beauty Never Lies." So he's got some good experience there, and as Tristan's quite rightly put, Rise Like a Phoenix is a phenomenon. So yeah, no, it's got some good pedigree there.
Interesting. Now, as we enter the final phase of tonight's show, we've looked at 3 national finals tonight: Iceland, Moldova, Slovenia. Joe, if you had to pick one of these countries to make it through to the grand final, what one would it be?
Moldova.
Jörna?
Slovenia.
Ooh. Stuart?
Yeah, I agree. I think Slovenia on that basis. If you were taking previous history, you'd say Moldova. Based on songs, Slovenia.
Yeah.
And Tristan?
If it's Ula, Slovenia.
And the other one for you to ponder tonight, and I'm going to go back down the line. Where do we think the strongest overall set of songs actually lies? Is it Iceland, Moldova, or Slovenia that are going to give the public the hardest choice when it comes to actually picking the song in their respective finals? Tristan, what are we thinking?
We're saying that in Slovenia, the public are only going to be choosing 2. I'll have to say Moldova, because Moldova have got quite a lot of variety, a lot of diversity, and there's definitely three good songs there that could get through.
Stuart?
Well, since the Iceland have voted out Daniel Oliver's Licky, 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 I think it has to be Slovenia.
Yeah, no.
I have to agree with Stuart. Slovenia is the hardest national selection of the 3.
And Joe?
Yeah, Slovenia, definitely.
Do you know what? I would go with Slovenia as the hardest choice. Slovenia is the one where I probably had the most debate with myself about what was actually going to happen with that final. Iceland, I think, could be very interesting though, and we'll see what happens when they have their second semi-final on Saturday evening. Now, Stuart, final look at the chat room.
Yes, Tom. So I think the general consensus is Moldova and Slovenia, with the exception of one person in the chat room who is a big fan of Hatari. And I can only imagine what costume he sat there watching this with right this moment in time. So, yes, we're mostly Moldova and Slovenia, Tom, and one for Iceland, with a particular fascination with Hatari.
And thinking of this person, it's not hard to understand why. So, moving on, we are back on Saturday night. Saturday night is another super Saturday in the world of Eurovision, and we are going to be back here live on YouTube as we look at Estée Lauder's final, as we look at the 3rd semi-final of Melody Festivalen, and as the panel, as from last week, give us updates on some of the other things that are going on, including Latvia's Supernova as well. Also, Stuart is back on Sunday with a very special show. Stuart, what's that about?
Yes, thanks, Tom. We're going to be reviewing the Selectia Națională final Sunday evening, 11 p.m. Central European time. Absolutely join us. Don't forget to click the like button, click subscribe. Come and join Tom on Saturday. Come and join me on Sunday. Do not miss it. It will be fire.
We have to get it in somewhere. Now, all that leaves me to do is to thank my panel this evening very much. Thank you to Joe.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks to Yana.
Thank you.
Thanks to Stuart.
Cheers, Tom. Bye for now.
Thanks to Tristan.
Cheerio. Bye-bye.
And we will see you all on Saturday night as we look at Sweden, Estonia, and Latvia. We'll see you then. Ta-da.
Bye.